Hello everyone, I thought I would just do a quick video. I've been receiving some comments. Some of you may know that I had been on a 2023 CVO Road Glide, and now you know I'm on a 2025 Lowrider ST. Some of you have asked why I switched bikes, and maybe I can give you a little history. I only started riding maybe 9 years ago, and I started with a 2016 Softail Slim S. Beautiful bike, Softail lineup in the Harley Davidson lineup. Loved it. And I started getting drawn into more long-range riding. So after having the bike for a number of years, I switched over to a Road King. Certainly, many of you are familiar with the Road King. It has the full-on saddlebags in the rear. It does not have a fairing. I was still attached to naked bikes that I felt were easy to ride, but maybe had some touring capability with some cargo capability. But after having that bike for a while, I started to feel like it was a bit too heavy for me. So I switched from a Road King. I moved over to a Fat Boy. I liked the style of the Fat Boy, and they had just come out with the anniversary version of it. I really liked the look of it, the all blacked out style. So back to a soft tail frame. After having that bike for a while, I got interested again in long-range touring, and I purchased a Street Glide. I felt that the Street Glide was maybe a perfect mix. It is not that much more heavy, and it offered me the smoothness and long-range touring capability of the touring frames. Had that bike for a while, and after a while I realized that maybe that bike was a bit too much for me in terms of its weight and size. I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'7" with a 30-inch inseam and maybe weigh 160 pounds. And although I loved the bike and it toured very well and rode extremely well, for the type of riding I did, it was a bit too much. I didn't do a lot of long-range touring, maybe only once or twice a year. And mainly I used the bike for commuting. So I ended up selling that bike, and at that time buying I believe it's a 2022 Lowrider ST, the same version of this bike when they just came out, I think in 2022. Phenomenal bike, loved it. In fact, it was the exact same color, black. Had that bike for a while, and then started getting the itch again, thinking that, hey, I really want a touring bike. The smoothness, I still remembered it from the Street Glide. And so at that point, I moved again and purchased a 2023 CVO Road Glide. Never had a CVO before, so I thought it'd be a nice bike to move up to. That bike was beautiful. It was a whiskey neat CVO Road Glide. Rode smoothly, rode perfectly. It was just a joy to ride. A lot of nice features with it. At that point then, I had it for a while, about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and then decided that, yeah, it was a bit too much. It was heavy. It was difficult to maneuver. I lacked confidence in slow speed maneuvering. Now, I know that with training and a lot of skill, I could develop slow speed maneuvering capability. However, I never really got to that point. Even at slow speeds, like coming to a stop, I would be just a little bit uncomfortable. I never dropped the bike, but it did make me a little uncomfortable. And I didn't like that feeling of being hesitant or uncomfortable in slow speeds, parking lots, or if I were in gravel, or if I were to set my foot down and there happened to be just a little bit of gravel or a tree branch, I felt very unsure. And so in rethinking the whole thing again, I decided, hey, the Lowrider ST is probably the best bike for me. The touring frames, especially the CVO Road Glide, is about an 860-pound bike. The Lowrider ST is about 710 pounds in running order, so that's about a 150-pound difference, which is significant. It does make the Lowrider ST a much more maneuverable, obviously lighter bike, much easier to control. And so that's the main reason I moved to the Lowrider ST. Now, if I were doing a different type of riding, if I did a lot of touring, like monthly long ranges, or lived the life on the road, or I rode two up, and especially if I rode two up while touring, I think I would much rather prefer a touring frame bike like a Road Glide or Street Glide. However, because I ride solo and I maybe tour only 2 or 3 times a year, the Lowrider ST is a much more suitable bike for me and my frame. So that's the basic reason why I switched over. So thank you for your attention, and I appreciate the question, and thanks for watching.